we are going to move on to the WNBA playoffs, because the game kicks off in just a few hours here, about an hour and 40 minutes or so. The first game starts at 7:30 p.m. and that will be the Phoenix Mercury. Wait, no. Yes. Phoenix Mercury versus the the Minnesota Lynx. They play first, and then the second game is going to be the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces. So I want to recap game one and break that down. So let's start off with the Lynx and the Mercury, right? Because it wasn't just hustle and smart coaching. At halftime, Cheryl Reeve, although I can't stand the media comments that she makes off the court, on the court, I appreciate Cheryl Reeve because she saw the danger of Phoenix carving what they were doing in the paint. And so notably thanks to drives by Alyssa Thomas. And we already know Phoenix Mercury is the type of team that makes it happen in the paint. They're huge guards, and they find comfort inside of there. And by halftime, you saw the adjustments made, because by third quarter, it got real nasty. They dialed up the defensive pressure in the paint, and it allowed Phoenix fewer entries to the rim, and it dared them to shoot from three, which they didn't shoot very well from the three, just shooting 3 from 23 from the 3-point land. Very, very, it was awful. But on the flip side, for the Mercury, so we talked about how the Lynx, it was pretty much their defensive presence that shook up the Mercury. But for Mercury on the offensive end, I think they need a lot more for DeWanna Bronner coming off the bench there. She plays at least 20 minutes a game. Last game she got 25 minutes per game, and she didn't find any success in her shots. She was 0 for 4. Like, she needs to take more shots than that, especially playing 25 minutes. And I might give DeWanna maybe too much credit, but I've seen the energy that she brings to the team, the attitude and the toughness and the physicality that they are going to need going into game 2 versus this fundamentally sound, strategic, very well coached Minnesota Lynx team. Like, that's what you're going to bring to the game when you don't let match up coach wise. You got to bring the physicality and the aggression. So and also take the pressure off of Copper and Alyssa Thomas. They cannot do it all by themselves. I'm not going to say Satu didn't contribute where she could, but obviously she needs to shoot better from the three. They need to find more opportunities to get them better shots in the three. Offensively, what I noticed about this Phoenix Mercury team, and this is where my hesitation was earlier, where I had the New York Liberty upsetting them, I don't believe in their offense because they settle for one-on-one basketball, kind of similar to the Aces, and we'll talk about that. But sometimes I find it seems like they like to push the tempo. If they don't get anything off the push of the tempo, which we know Minnesota Lynx have great transition defense, if Phoenix Mercury pushes off the tempo and they don't get anything, then it's like one pass, now let's just someone try to score it. They will find a lot more success. And it seemed like they were doing that kind of like the middle of the season there, where they were really moving the ball around more often and getting that extra pass off, like, and creating shots for people like Sammy Whitcomb or Satu, who not really going to create it by themselves. So if they want to come back in game 2, they're going to need more from Sabali and Bonner. And they have to be a little bit more decisive on how they want to show up offensively, whether it's being the aggressor, being a consistent finisher, or spacing the floor and taking the shot and knocking it down. I will say, though, and my lower third question is, I will say for this Las Vegas Aces, I will say I got distracted. For the Phoenix Mercury as well, they need to get to the foul line more. I wasn't understanding why what the struggle was for them to get to the foul line. And I kind of got ahead of myself, but which adjustments do Phoenix need to even the series? Like, what adjustments do they need to make to even it up tonight and make it 1-1, or they're going to go back to Phoenix Mercury 0-2? And one of the adjustments that they need to continue, again, being aggressive, but get to the free throw line. It is very important that you get to the free throw line. Only one person got to the stripe the last game, and that was Satu Sabali, and it was twice. That is unacceptable. Nobody else on the team got to the free throw line. Come on now. They need to tighten up in that area. Those little 1-2 points, they add up and they make a huge difference down the stretch. Again, just a quick run back. Some adjustments that need to be made is more offensive aggression for the Phoenix Mercury. If they're taking away your options in the paint, then find ways to get other players open and continue to move the ball around. Maybe slow your tempo down. There's nothing wrong with that. Pushing your tempo, it might work for you, but I'm starting to see it's working against you, Phoenix Mercury. So maybe consider slowing the ball down and don't rely too heavily on Copper and Thomas to make it happen. You have other all-stars around you. Satu is an all-star. You know? So we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out tonight. What are y'all thoughts? Tulip says, you see team ball, ISO ball. Harden ball doesn't work when we've seen it throughout history. That's why some teams are better without some talents. I agree. Sometimes I look at a team and I would rather take like a fundamentally sound team where everybody knows their role and they're more willing like to pass and make it happen as a team, kind of like the Spurs vibe, than just seeing like a couple all-stars go one-on-one the whole time. I mean, it works for some people, but it doesn't work for the Phoenix Mercury. It's not going to work in playoffs. So, yeah. Let's So, and then as far as what I expect for tonight, so let's go into the odds and statistics and what the house is showing for that game tonight. Again, the Phoenix Mercury visit the Minnesota Lynx. So they're hosting them home. Minnesota Lynx are hosting them home, and they're up 1-0 right now. The odds of the house, they have Minnesota Lynx favored to win -7. So -7 plus 7 on those odds. And they play at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Last game, they lost to the Minnesota Lynx 82-69. Okay, I have my prediction. I got the Phoenix Mercury winning tonight. Okay, I do. I do believe that they're going to make adjustments. What I think we're going to see the same thing. I don't think Phoenix Mercury, the Minnesota Lynx need to make any of adjustments, but I do think the Phoenix Mercury are going to take more shots tonight. And hopefully these women are going to knock them down. So, and I'm hoping that they made adjustments on their pathways to get into the paint. That's what I'm going to say on that one, because a lot of my energy really wants to focus in on the Indiana Fever versus the Las Vegas Aces. I'm really excited about this one because it's like, is it momentum or mirage? Is this an illusion or are they really on to something? I mean, are the haters still saying that they getting by like this is all luck, or are people really believing and buying into this Indiana Fever team potentially making it to the finals? Or is it just like, okay, they got their little one, but Asia and the Aces are about to take over. Okay. Let's talk about game 2. So, well, let's do a recap of game 1. So, obviously Las Vegas Aces need to fix a lot of things. Well, not a lot. They need to tweak some things so they don't risk going down 0-2 in this series. So the Fever, and I said it in the last live stream. Go check it out. I said this. I said what the Fever do is push tempo, and the Aces are a slow tempo team, and it usually works out to their favor. But last night it did. I mean, the other night, Sunday night, it did not. So the Fever exposed the Aces with pace because the Fever had energy. And by the third quarter, the Las Vegas Aces They let the Fever have their way with them. The third quarter really won the game altogether. And Wilson, she wasn't as automatic. She shot 6 for 22 from the field. They were pressure defense. Almost every single look she took was contested. And it was too many moments where Indiana was making her work to even catch the ball. Shout out to the Indiana Fever defense. And it left the rest of the squad to have to carry the weight. And Jewel Lloyd didn't show up. Chelsea Gray didn't show up. Nobody was really showing up. Nobody else was showing up. So I think some coaching adjustments that are non-negotiable. I wrote down, I made some notes. Vegas has to find ways to loosen the defensive pressure Indiana's putting on Wilson. And maybe because the isolation, as good as she is, it's just not working right now with the pressure that Indiana has. Who knows? We don't know how game 2 could be. The Las Vegas Aces, I believe they're hosting Indiana. Yeah, they're hosting Indiana tonight. So home court advantage. We'll see what that, if that even matters. They didn't have to travel nowhere. Maybe they got their necessary rest. And then they need quicker rotations, especially in transition defense, because the Fever hurt them when the Aces weren't able to get back. And that, I think, before they had this 16-game win streak, we saw low energy from them. Why are they falling into this slump now? I don't know what Becky Hammon had done before the 16-game win streak to get them on track, but she need to bring that juju. She need to bring that juice back. She need to get those flowing back again, because they're starting to look a little like first half of the season Aces, not second half of the season Aces. And then the bench needs to produce more consistently. Also, Nalissa Smith. Why was Natasha Howard and Aaliyah Boston having her with their ways with you? No way, Natasha Howard. Her ears must have been burning, because I was talking big crap about Natasha, saying she ain't doing nothing. Shorty came out last game with a double-double. And Nalissa was like, Nalissa, one of the main reasons I was excited for you on this Las Vegas Aces team was because I felt like you brought consistent defense and aggressive offense. So I'm very curious to see why they were having their way with you in the paint last night. Maybe your ears could start burning and you'll have a good game tonight. I sure hope so. But when Asia's shot isn't dropping, something gotta give. But game 2 at home is huge. They got to restore that belief in this team that people generated overtime in the second half of the season. And they have to make sure they close down on Indiana shooters. If you're going to take Kelsey Mitchell away, okay, like if you're going to try to prevent, and also she was having her way too, but if you're going to take her shot away, if, in my opinion, I'm not saying let it live with Lexi. But at the same time, I would ease up my pressure on her on the 3-point lane and focus a lot of the pressure on Kelsey and make me a believer in Lexi's shot. She only hitting about one of them things a game. She'll take about 3. But that's what I would try to do. But if they, and it was weird. It was kind of like almost like they were like baiting Kelsey Mitchell to show them how great she is. How many 30-point games has she had this season? Why does it feel like the way they be playing against her, she still gotta be like proving herself? Or is it really coming this easy for this young lady? You feel what I'm saying? Let me see what y'all say. Who you got taking game 2? Chat lit. We got, I'm gonna say Fever in 4. Tool said Asia won't have a game this bad again this series, so I expect this to go to 5 games. I think, and then also Becky Hammon should use her bench to an advantage, at least for bodies, for rotation, if you're going to take the route on doubling down on people. If you're going to double on Kelsey, or at least front her in some type of capacity, you have the resources and advantage. Why is there a team who's depleted on a roster outworking y'all? Make that make sense to me, Las Vegas Aces. Make it make sense to me. Why are you getting outran by a team that only got like 7 people deep, 6 people deep, low key? You feel what I'm saying? And then it's not mathing up. The math is not mathing. Just checking out the comments. I really enjoy and appreciate everyone pitching in and sharing, having a conversation with me. It's always a pleasure to hear your thoughts and to talk ball with y'all. And just remember, if you know bull, you know ball. Let's check out. So again, the odds for tonight, the house still has the Las Vegas Aces winning -9, -9. I mean, that says a lot. A lot of people got faith in Asia. I do too. I got the Las Vegas Aces winning tonight as well. Not because I don't think the Indiana Fever aren't a good team, but it's going to take, if Kelsey Mitchell does her 30-point game again, we still got to see something from Natasha. We still got to see something from Lexi and obviously like Aaliyah. But I'm saying those, I said it in the last stream. It really comes down to what those players do that really make the Indiana Fever good or great. You see what I'm saying? And they are known to be wild cards. They are known to have good games every once in a while. And Lord forbid Kelsey don't shoot well tonight. You see what I'm saying? So, and they only managed to beat the Las Vegas Aces by, oh no, they beat them by a lot. 80, yeah, they beat them by a lot. Indiana Fever came out on top 89-73 in the last game. It ain't gonna go down like that. It could either be like a blowout with the bases winning, or it's gonna be a close game. But I definitely have the Las Vegas Aces winning tonight. The playoffs tonight, because I believe in Becky Hammon as a coach, I respect Stephanie White, but I would take Becky Hammon over Stephanie any day of the week. And I take Asia over Kelsey Mitchell any day of the week. Asia is the GOAT. I do believe tonight we'll see more consistency from Joel Lloyd. I also believe that hopefully they talked to Chelsea Gray and told Chelsea Gray, shorty, every time you touch the ball, you do not have to score. You can do other things. Okay? So we'll see. But if they don't fix these things, game 1 is probably going to end up being the blueprint from Indiana and not a wake-up call for the Aces. So hopefully it was a wake-up call. They done knocked the dust out their eyes. They right there to the finals, and maybe they'll be able to edge past Indiana. Or will Indiana continue to be a wild card surprise for us and shock the whole league and make it to the finals? We shall see.